Hey, what's going on guys? Luis here, and CES 2015 just wrapped up. And if you don't know what CES is, it's basically the Consumer Electronics Show where all the major companies in the United States like Samsung, Sony, and LG show off their product lineup for the following year. So unfortunately I wasn't able to go this year, but there's a lot of really cool stuff that I saw from the coverage of other YouTubers here on YouTube, and I wanted to share my favorite tech that I saw at CES 2015. So starting off at number 1 is probably the most common one that everyone is talking about, the LG G Flex 2. So the G Flex 1 was a great phone. It was one of the first curved phones, but it did have a massive screen, and one of the improvements of the LG G Flex 2 is that it has a smaller 5.5-inch display at a higher resolution at 1080p. Also, this phone has amazing specs. It's packing a Snapdragon 810 processor, which is octa-core and 64-bit. And it also has a 13 megapixel camera like the LG G3. And overall this phone looks extremely ergonomic, more so than the original G Flex, but I'm not entirely sure that people are really going to use the curved display. There's not really a lot of use to it. But there are some benefits to it, like the self-healing technology that LG is using on the back, which allows the phone to self-heal from scratches almost instantaneously. So moving on with my favorite car of CES 2015, this one is easily taken by the Mercedes-Benz F015. So as you can tell, this car looks extremely weird. It looks almost futuristic and looks a little bit like a spaceship, but this is what Mercedes-Benz is calling the car of the future. It's essentially a self-driving car, completely autonomous. You don't have to drive it anywhere. It has GPS integrated, so it knows exactly where to go. So you don't need a driver for this car, and that's amazing. Mercedes-Benz claims that this technology is coming a lot sooner than we thought. So the F015 is packed with a lot of technology. It has 6 screens all around the inside of the car, so you feel like you're not inside of a car really, but you're somewhere else. It's really interesting what Mercedes is doing here, and I think the F015 is a great prototype to start. Unfortunately, it's not a real car, but it's something really close to it. I personally cannot wait to have self-driving cars. Driving cars causes a lot of issues like car accidents and everything that we know. And so self-driving cars are definitely the future, and technology is definitely going to contribute to that. We need self-driving cars as soon as possible. It's a great invention and it needs to be here now. And speaking of great inventions, Oculus Rift was also at CES 2015, and they showed off their best virtual reality headset to date, the Oculus Rift Crescent Bay. So even today, Oculus Rift doesn't have a kit that is aimed towards consumers just yet. They've only developed a kit that is made for developers, and that is known as the Developer Kit number 2. That was the last one that we saw at CES 2014 last year. But this year, the Crescent Bay kit does improve upon that original kit that was made towards developers, and it still isn't aimed towards consumers, but it does improve a lot on the original prototype. It has a much better head tracking system, a much better display, although we're not quite there yet. It's still a low resolution display, but I think the Crescent Bay kit definitely improves upon the original one, and it's getting better. It's getting a lot more aimed towards consumers, and I can't wait to test one out when it does come out for the final version. And of course, we all know that virtual reality is still really expensive, so don't expect this to be a cheap product by any means, but I am looking forward to testing it out and see how it works for the price. So these are overall my favorite gadgets that I saw at CES 2015, but of course there's a lot more that goes into the show, and I do want to give a shout out to 8K TVs, which are apparently a reality, and they have a crazy amount of pixels and a crazy good resolution at a very high price. Just keep that in mind. 8K TVs are going to be very expensive. Also, drones were part of the show, and I didn't really see one that struck out to me because they are still really expensive as well. But drones are becoming a reality, and with cameras integrated, they look awesome. I was a little bit disappointed with companies like Samsung and Sony. They didn't really release a whole lot this year, but we're still really looking forward to what they have to offer in 2015. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, definitely make sure to subscribe for more content, and leave me a comment down below telling me what your favorite thing at CES 2015 was. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.